Here is our team is going to do a presentation on the topic missions of NASA, and we have taken the mission Artemis. Name Artemis 1, Space Launch System 1, Exploration Mission 1, Mission Type, Uncrewed Lunar Orbiter Test Flight, Launch Date 16 December 2021. Artemis 1 will use the Block 1 variant of the Space Launch System. The Block 1 first stage consists of a core stage and two 5-segment solid rocket boosters. The core stage will reuse 4 engines that had fallen on the space shuttle. The core and boosters together produce 8.8 into 10 power 6 of thrust at liftoff. The upper stage ICPS will be based on the Delta cryogenic system stage containing one engine. Once in orbit, the ICPS will perform a trans-lunar injection burn which will transfer the Orion spacecraft and 13 CubeSats on the way to the moon. The Orion will separate from the ICPS and goes to the moon. The ICPS will deploy 13 CubeSats that will do scientific research and perform technological demonstration.
Artemis 2. Artemis 2 is the second mission of NASA's Artemis program and the first crewed mission of NASA's Orion spacecraft, and it is planned to be launched in the month of September 2023. It is planned to perform lunar flyby tests and return to Earth. These are the different phases of the mission. It is the first crewed flight of SLS and Orion, and 4 astronauts will be sent to the lunar environment. It is approximately a 10-day mission, and the main goal of the mission is to establish a long-term presence on the moon and to explore more of the lunar surface.
Names Exploration Mission 3 from 2017 to 2019. Mission type Crewed Lunar Landing Operator. NASA mission duration to 30 days. Artemis 3 will land a crew at the moon's south polar region. It is planned to have 2 astronauts on the surface of the moon for about 1 week. The mission is intended to be the first to place a woman on the moon, while up to 4 astronauts would leave Earth on board Orion, the surface mission with the HLS, that is, Human Landing System, will consist of 2 crew members who will remain on the surface for 6.5 days. The remaining astronauts will stay on the board the Gateway Orion Orbital Complex. The 2 astronauts will conduct up to 4 spacewalks on the moon's surface, performing a variety of scientific observations, including sampling water ice. Before the Artemis 3 landing, some additional equipment will be proportionalized on the surface, including an unpressurized rover for astronauts to use during their spacewalks. This rover will have the capability to be controlled remotely. Several permanently shadowed regions could be reached by short 4 days of 5 to 15 kilometers, well within the range of rover.
Pleasant day to all. Today I, Kishore Kesavan, and Darun and Steve are here to explain on the topic Extrapolate Life in Space.
What do you mean by extrapolate? To form an opinion or make a judgment about a situation by using fact that you know from a different situation. Then what do you mean by extrapolate life in space? Space weather refers to the dynamic condition on the sun and in the intervening sun to earth medium that can severally influence the function of spaceborne on ground-based technical instruments, thereby affecting the human life. Predicting the impact of space weather thereby becomes an essential task. In particular, explosive events on the sun that include solar phase, coronal mass ejection, CMEs, and solar anesthetic particles plays a crucial role in influencing space weather. Now we can see about what is extraterrestrial life. It's a hypothetical life that may occur outside the Earth. Such life might range from simple prokaryotics to intelligent beings and even spatial beings, possibly bringing forth civilization that might be far more advanced than humanity. The dark equation speculates about the extension of spatial life elsewhere in the universe. The science of extraterrestrial life is also known as astrobiology.
We talked about extraterrestrial life in space, and relating to that, I will particularly explain about life on Mars. Colonization in Mars, an idea brought up by Elon Musk under the name of SpaceX mission, was successfully implemented on the year 2002 with the goal of achieving or enabling human exploration and colonization in Mars and making space flights more affordable to regular people. As we all know, the resources in Mother Earth are being exploited day by day for the need of the people, but whereas it is actually for the greed of the people. So, keeping that in mind, there were rumors about Mars saying that if the Earth is out of resources or collapses, people would be able to move to Mars where resources are being replicated as in the Earth. One basic thing a human being needs is oxygen. For that, scientists have created a deep cryoliquid oxygen tank, and for a temporary habitat and transportation, the SpaceX Starship is being used. So everything is covered up, and finally, it is expected that all this would happen by 2024. Thank you.
A very good day to all. I'm Santosh Krishna, and our teammates are here to present a presentation on the topic Making a Successful Spacecraft.
In this presentation, we have taken the PSLV C-50, that is the recently launched aircraft. It was the 52nd flight in the PSLV category, and if we see its Excel configuration, it was the 22nd, and it was the 77th launch vehicle from Sriharikota. PSLV C-50 was launched from the second launch pad at 3:41 p.m. It was injected into the orbit in just 20 minutes after launch. If we look at its sequence, here I have given the timings of each stage. Totally, it had 12 stages, and in general, if we see, it was ignition separation, sealed separation is the outer cover removing. Then the engine was cut off and sent into the orbit. The satellite was sent into the orbit.
Structure and parts. As you can see, this is the proportion of the rocket. Order: satellite, boosting, and ignition. The CMS-01 Indian communication satellite successfully launched through PSLV C-50 envisaged services extended C-band frequency spectrum. Extended C-band coverage Indian mainland belonging to island. 42nd communication satellite India.
Linking back to commerce, basically the budget for the spacecraft is 200 crores, and the budget was planned in a way like they separated as a 5 divisions. And when we speak about ISRO, it has a total of 94 departments, and the future opportunities for ISRO is like we have succeeded in getting a lot of foreign investment. And when we speak about stock market, when we launched a lot of spacecraft, our Indian stock market get recognized and our value increases. And when we speak about failures, when we fail to launch a spacecraft properly or it faces any problems, we need to start a new budget and go through it.
Speaking about future plans, the upcoming PSLV C-51 mission, Dr. K. Sivan said that the mission will be fruition of the space reforms recently introduced in the country. Further, he added that the mission will carry 3 satellites built by private entities. We have to wait and watch about what the ISRO has planned in future. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Aglesh, and my friends Madhav, Ashwin, and Nikhilan are here to do a presentation on the topic chemical reactions in interstellar medium. So, let us get into the topic.
In astronomy, the interstellar medium, the radiation that exists in the Earth between the star system in a galaxy. This matter includes gas in ionic, atomic and molecular form as well as dust and cosmic rays. It fills interstellar space and blends smoothly into the surrounding intergalactic space. The energy that occupies the same volume in the form of electromagnetic radiation is the interstellar radiation field. The interstellar medium is composed of multiple phases distinguished by whether matter is ionic, atomic or molecular and temperature and density of the matter. The interstellar medium is composed primarily of hydrogen followed by helium with trace amount of carbon, oxygen and nitrogen comparatively to hydrogen. The thermal pressures of these phases are in rough equilibrium with one another. Magnetic field and turbulent motion also provide in the interstellar medium are typically more important dynamically than the thermal pressure. In all phases, the interstellar medium is extremely tenuous by terrestrial standards. In cool, dense of the interstellar medium, matter is primarily in molecular form and reaches number densities of 106 molecule per meter cube, 1 million moles per meter cube. In hot diffused region of ISM, matter is primarily ionized and the density may be low as 10 to 4 ion per centimeter cube. The structure of the Sun contains the following layers. Core. The innermost 20 to 25% of Sun's radius where temperature and pressure are sufficient for nuclear fission to occur. Hydrogen fuses into helium which cannot itself be fused at a point in the Sun's life. The fusion process releases energy and core gradually becomes enriched in helium. Radioactive zone. Convection cannot occur until much nearer the surface of the Sun. Therefore, between about 20 to 25% of the radius and 70% of the radius, there is a radioactive zone in which energy transfer occurs by means of radiation other than the photons rather than by convection. Tachocline. The boundary region between the radiative and convective zone. Between about 70% of the Earth radius and a point close to the visible surface, the Sun is cool and diffuse enough for the convection to occur. And this becomes the primary means of outward heat transfer similar to weather cells which form in Earth's atmosphere. Because the Sun is a gaseous object, this does not have a clearly defined surface. Its visible parts are usually divided into photosphere and atmosphere. Photosphere, the deepest part of the Sun which we can directly observe with visible light. Atmosphere, a gaseous halo surrounding the Sun comprising of chromosphere. Chromosphere, solar transition region, corona and heliosphere. These can be seen when the main part of the Sun is hidden. For example, during a solar eclipse.
Coronal loops are huge loops of magnetic field beginning and ending on the Sun's visible surface, projecting on to the solar atmosphere. Hot glowing ionized gas trapped in the loops makes them visible. Coronal loops range widely in size up to several thousand kilometers long. They are transient features of the solar surface, forming and dissipating over periods of seconds to days. They form the basic structure of the lower corona and transition region of the Sun. These highly structured loops are a direct consequence of the twisted solar magnetic flux within the solar body. Coronal loops are associated with the sunspots. The 2 foot points where the loop passes through the Sun's surface are often sunspots. This is because sunspots occur at a region of high magnetic field. The high magnetic field where the loop passes through the surface forms a barrier to the convection currents which bring hot plasma from the interior to the Sun's surface. So the plasma in these high regions is cooler than the rest of the sun's surface, appearing as a dark spot when viewed against the rest of the photosphere. The population of coronal loops varies with the 11-year solar cycle, which also influences the number of sunspots. The solar wind is a stream of charged particles released from the upper atmosphere of the sun called the corona. This plasma mostly consists of electrons, protons, and alpha particles with kinetic energy between 0.5 and 10. The composition of the solar wind plasma also includes a mixture of materials found in the solar plasma. Trace amounts of heavy ions and atomic nuclei such as carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, neon, magnesium, silicon, sulfur, and ferrous. There are also rarer traces of some other nuclei and isotopes. Superposed with the solar wind plasma is the interplanetary magnetic field. The solar wind varies in density, temperature, and speed over time and over longitude and latitude. Its particles can escape the sun's gravity because of their higher energy resulting from the higher temperature of the corona, which in turn is a result of the coronal magnetic field. At a distance of more than few solar radii from the sun, the solar wind reaches speeds of 250 to 750 km per second and is supersonic, meaning it moves faster than the speed of the fast magnetosonic wave. The flow of the solar wind is no longer supersonic at the termination shock. Other related phenomena include the aura, the plasma tails of comets that always point away from the sun, and geomagnetic storms that can change the direction of magnetic field lines. Spots are temporary phenomena in the sun's photosphere that appear as spots darker than the surrounding areas. They are regions of reduced surface temperature caused by concentrations of magnetic field flux that inhibit convection. Sunspots usually appear in pairs of opposite magnetic polarity. The number varies according to the approximately 11-year solar cycle. Individual sunspots or groups of sunspots may last anywhere from a few days to few months, but eventually decay. Sunspots expand and contract as they move across the surface of the sun, with diameters ranging from 16 km to 160,000 km. Larger sunspots can be visible from Earth without the aid of a telescope. They may travel at relative speeds or proper motions of a few hundred meters per second when they first emerge. Indicating intense magnetic activity, sunspots accompany phenomena such as coronal loops and reconnection events. Most solar flares and coronal mass ejections originate in magnetically even active regions around visible sunspot groupings. Similar phenomena indirectly observed on stars other than the sun are commonly called star spots, and both light and dark spots have been measured.
The Carrington Event. The Carrington Event was a powerful geomagnetic storm on September 1 to 2, 1859 during solar cycle 10, 1855 to 1867. A solar coronal mass ejection (CME) hit Earth's magnetosphere and induced the largest geomagnetic storm on record. The associated white light flare in the solar photosphere was observed and recorded by British astronomers Richard Carrington and Richard Hodgson. The storm created strong auroral displays and caused serious damage to telegraph systems. The now standard unique IAU identifier for this flare is SOL 1859-91. Modern problems and solutions for the event. Problems. The sun produces a solar wind. A continuous flow of charged particles affects Earth. It can disrupt communications, navigation systems, and satellites. Solution. To have an emergency backup electronics such as a radio, put them unplugged inside a sealed cardboard box, then wrap the box completely with aluminium foil. Line the inside of a metal garbage can with cardboard.
Every brilliant experiment, like every great work of art, starts with an act of imagination. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
A pleasant day to one and all. Myself, Nevita, along with my teammates Laya and Samrin here to present on the topic Immune System of Space Travelers and Microbes of Space. So now let us get into the presentation.
What is microgravity? We all know that micro means very small. So, microgravity is the condition in which people or object appears to be very weightless. This helps astronauts or objects to float in the space very easily. Heavy objects can move around very easily. For example, astronauts can also move objects of weight 100 pounds with their fingertips. Microgravity is sometimes called as zero gravity, but this often leads to misleading.
Hope you all have understood about microgravity, which is very much essential to understand upcoming topics. And now we are going to look about the immune system of space travelers. What happens when we leave a polar bear in a hot sunny desert or a camel in a very cold mountain? Can it survive adapting to a different habitat apart from their own? Yes, the answer is going to be no. Likewise, even our immune system can't adapt to a different habitat which is not optimum to it for working efficiently. Not only our immune system, even our own body encounter tremendous stresses like high gravitational force during launching and landing, microgravity, radiation, sleep deprivation, etc. during spaceflight, which results in reduced immune system that causes reactivation of latent virus like chickenpox, lower responses of T regulatory cells which actually regulate cells that working for immune system, reduced performance of natural killer cells, increase in the level of stress hormones and etc. Microgravity results in optimum place for pathogens in space to survive, and the lower immune system caused by the microgravity in turn will provide place for proliferation of pathogens, and pathogens resist themselves from the antibodies inside the human body due to lower immune system. Here is an example of astronauts having reduced immune system after their missions. After the Apollo mission, astronauts experienced inner ear disturbances, heart problems, low blood pressure, dehydration, and loss of calcium from their bones. Over half of the astronauts become sick with colds or other infections within a week of returning to the Earth.
Microbes of space. A multitude of experiments have been used to study what kind of bacteria is present in space. 8 specific spots on the space station have been continuously checked over the last 6 years for the presence of microbes and bacterial growth. The 4 strains of bacteria that researchers isolated belong to the Methylobacteriaceae family. Species of Methylobacterium are helpful to plants, promoting their growth and fighting pathogens that affect them, among other things. Leafy greens and radishes have been successfully grown on the space station, but growing crops in space is not without difficulty. Methylobacterium could be used to help plants overcome the stresses they face trying to grow inside of Earth.
Good day to all. We are here to explain the topic aspects of space tourism and the cost and statistics that is involved behind the scenes. Space traveling is life enhancing, and anything that's life enhancing is worth doing. It makes you want to live forever. We are going to explain about the spacesuit, the journey, the spaceship, satellites, and its cost, and more. So to explain about the spacesuit, a spacesuit is a garment worn to keep a human alive in the harsh environment of outer space, vacuum and temperature extremes. Spacesuits are often worn inside spacecraft as a safety precaution in case of loss of cabin pressure and are necessary for extracurricular activities worked on outside spacecraft. The cost of a spacesuit originally was about $22 million. Building one from scratch right now can be as much as $250 million to $500 million. A spacesuit weighs approximately 280 pounds on the ground without the astronaut in it. Putting on a spacesuit takes about 45 minutes.
A satellite is a moon, planet, or mission that orbit a planet or star. Thousands of artificial or man-made satellites orbit Earth. Some take pictures of the planet that help meteorologists predict weather and track hurricanes. Still, other satellites are used mainly for communication, such as beaming TV signals and phone calls around the world. A group of more than 20 satellites make up a global position system or GPS. If you have a GPS receiver, these satellites can help figure out your exact location. Space transportation is still an expense industry. Only the USA Space Shuttle and Russia Soyuz capsule can carry humans into space today at higher end of cost about US $20,000 per kg. Efforts to expand range of human travel rated vehicle have not succeeded till today. A spacecraft has a number of essential components, such as an engine, power subsystem, steering system, and communication system, in addition to science instruments. Most of these systems are housed in a section called the service module, while the science instruments make up the payload module. Space flight is the use of space technology to achieve the flight of spacecraft into and through outer space. Space flight is used in space exploration and also in commercial activity like space tourism and satellite telecommunication. Getting to space isn't easy. Once we are there, the huge distance between destination make travel a change.
So when we talk about tourism, we look at hotels. Hotels happens to be one of the most important parts of tourism. And what about hotels in space? So Orbital Assembly Corporation is a new construction company run by a former pilot, John Blinko. According to these people, luxury hotels in space is a possibility. They say and they are planning to open a luxury hotel in space by 2027. So they say that this hotel will accommodate about 280 guests and 112 crew members while aiming to be the first commercial space hotel upon completion. So let us wait a few more years and see what happens. Space tourism is entirely costly and traveling to space is not an easy job. You have to be in shape. So not all people are eligible and not all people can afford to go to space. And majorly in India and during this pandemic situation, we can see how much the economy has been affected. So maybe in the future when a lot of people decide to undergo space tourism, the prices might come down and lot more people can afford it. But it is not sure. Thank you for your patient listening. We hope we gave you a lot more information about the aspects of space tourism. Thank you.